Hello and welcome. This is July review and outlook of Turkey ferrous scrap markets from Metal Expert. Scrap consumption in Turkey could shrink in early autumn, as governmental orders to restore areas damaged by last year's earthquake are going to be fulfilled, according to Metal Expert estimates. State construction companies have already purchased about 4 million tons of long products out of the announced 4 to 5 million tons to rebuild the affected regions. At this rate, all the necessary material will be shipped by September, if the volume officially announced by the government in March 2023 is final. As a result, major Turkish steelmakers will have to cut steel production by 300,000 to 400,000 ton per month in autumn. This is one of the major factors which will be important for the Turkish ferrous scrap market in the coming months. There is no alternative to governmental contracts in Turkey. Spot markets for finished steel in the country have been rather inactive over the past year. The difficult economic situation, devaluation of the national currency, people's low purchasing power, as well as lack of financing and budget deficit, are constraining operations across all steel-consuming industries in Turkey. However, Turkish mills are still trying to increase sales of finished steel abroad, Metal Expert hears. In January-April, local exporters shipped 1.13 million tons of rebar to foreign markets, up 20% year-on-year. The positive dynamics was driven by sales to Europe and the Americas, as ongoing anti-dumping investigations into cheap foreign HRC and wire rod are currently underway in Turkey. So far, however, they have not had any impact on commodity flows. More decisive action in this regard should be expected when public construction companies start to reduce their purchases of steel under governmental orders. But for now, Turkish mills are still in no hurry to reduce steelmaking, thus fueling scrap consumption. The January to May output totaled 15.5 million tons, 3.13.2 million tons monthly, which is by 20% higher year-on-year. Scrap consumption increased by 16% to 13 million tons during the period under review. Let's look into ferrous scrap purchasing activity at deep-sea market. Last month, Turkish steel mills stepped back from the market for almost 10 days due to the religious holiday. They restocked before and after the festive period. The importers bought deep-sea scrap cargoes during the first part of June, but there was no rush amid insufficient demand for finished steel products. In the second part of the month, upward pressure from scrap suppliers increased as constant problems with slow collection and high dockside quotes were compounded by costly freight. In the last week of the month, buying activity went up. Overall, in June, Turkish steelmakers placed orders for 20 deep-sea import scrap batches with a total volume of over 650,000 tons, according to market sources. This is at least 450,000 tons lower than in May. The booked cargoes were scheduled mostly for the July shipment, Metal Expert has learnt. Over the past month, prices for American HMS 1 and 2 increased by $10 per ton to $390 per ton CFR Turkey. Prices for similar grade from Europe went up to $384 per ton. However, looking at long-term dynamics, we can see that scrap prices have been relatively stable for 3 months already. This is especially true if compared to iron ore prices, which are still highly volatile due to steel overproduction in China, lack of sufficient consumption at domestic market, record high export levels, and suffering profitability. July started with several fresh deep-sea sales, done at generally stable prices, but the negotiations were slow, as Turkish steelmakers had already secured their urgently needed volumes. Metal Expert forecasts that there will be no significant adjustment in Turkey's scrap market in the coming months due to low stocks at local mills and the launch of new steelmaking facilities. However, scrap consumption may drop significantly in early autumn, amid the expected reduction in governmental purchases of finished steel. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.